Yo, what's up you guys? Jason here, creator of Good Lift, and I got some tips for all you guys out there for the natural gainers. How to build muscle more efficiently, away from a lot of the stuff that you might see out in magazines, online, blogs, forums, etc. that might be slowing you down actually. So let's cut straight to the chase. Tip number one, train more frequently with less volume. Because a lot of times in a lot of articles you might read, etc., you're gonna see that, okay, one time a week you're gonna smash out one muscle group and you're gonna do some major damage on it with large amounts of volume. Meaning that you will see on some of these programs, I'm gonna do 10 different exercises, 3 to 5 sets each, and that's really gonna destroy my muscles and break down a lot of that tissue. Well, a lot of times these programs are designed for a lot of these elite bodybuilders that are on some serious gear. And that is AKA steroids, hormones, you name it, a lot of these different type of concoctions, which allow them to recover better, allow that breakdown to be able to be rebuilt and reformatted to build themselves up faster. But for a lot of us that are natural gainers, that might be a little bit too much. It's gonna break us down a little bit too hard. That won't allow us to recover. And since we're only hitting it once a week, it might not be enough stimulus for us to actually create these consistent signals. So one thing that's been proven to work a lot more efficiently for a lot of natural gainers out there, or that might be in a little bit of a plateau due to that type of training, is actually training more frequently. So hitting your legs 2 to 3 times a week, or any other body part, and hitting it with a little bit less volume. So instead of doing 10 exercises on that specific day, shorten it down. Pick about 4 to 5 good exercises, doing about 3 to 5 sets each, but putting it more frequently throughout the week. So therefore your signals are smaller but more concentrated and more frequent. So therefore you don't have to do so much damage for this huge recovery window. You can create just enough stimulus, recover in that 48-hour, that 2 to 3 day turnaround, and then you'll be able to re-stimulate again. So you can do smaller hits and allow your good food and recovery antics to pick up the pieces along the way, so therefore you can consistently build yourself within your own natural hormone profile. So that's a really good tip for a lot of people that might be seeing some struggles as far as their strength gains or hypertrophy gains, their muscle size. Number 2, block training. So a lot of times you will see also in these programs that you're going to be doing what you call standard pyramiding. You're going to start with kind of a nice little warm-up set, maybe a set of 10, and kind of work your way up heavier, heavier, heavier with lower reps, lower reps, lower reps until you reach that peak, and then you pick a new exercise and repeat the process over again. Block training is something to where you will actually do a couple of warm-up sets and then you're going to pick exactly the resistance and reps you're going to practice for that day. It might be 5 sets of 5, might be 5 sets of 8, might be 3 sets of 10, and whatever it may be, but it allows you to get a more consistent signal to overcome the specific weight that you're trying to handle. And again, for a body that's naturally being built, that doesn't have a lot of these extra aids coming in, that's just forcing a signal to grow, 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 we need to provoke a strong signal ourselves. So instead of just doing these pyramid sets where we only basically get one view on each weight category each time, we get to now concentrate ourselves. This is the weight that I'm working on today. I'm going to make my body master these specific resistances and rep ranges, so therefore that signal is being sent and actually comprehended for us to, again, to build back stronger upon. So that's block training. Look that up, Google it. There's a lot of great information out there on that block training. But so that is basically made so therefore we can get a consistent signal and we can make a bigger, longer type of message to our body that we need to overcome this to grow stronger and keep ourselves progressing. All right, number 3, make sure you're gaining weight. The biggest thing is nutrition to grow. A lot of us do a darn good job of getting in all of our protein shakes and supplements and meats and all that protein intake. But again, is it really working to our benefit of gain? So once a week, you gotta check yourself in. You gotta make sure you're gaining small bits every single week consistently. Because a lot of people will go in there and they'll say, oh, I gained 10 pounds in 2 weeks or 5 pounds in 3 weeks, whatever it may be. And sometimes it's too much and sometimes it's too little. And we wanna be right in between. Because we wanna be at a specific point to where I'm gaining weight, yes, but I'm not gaining weight at such an alarming rate that a lot of that turnover is gonna come into fat. We want to stay as lean as possible amongst the process, correct? So we have to make sure and monitor that even though we are getting in all of our proteins and all those good carbohydrates, that we're getting it in the right amount that's allowing us to actually grow that extra mass. We're giving ourselves the building blocks to build more with. So being really leery on that, making sure that we're gaining about a pound to a pound and a half a week and staying very consistent on that, making sure we're not getting too much and making sure that we're not gaining too little. So that's a huge topic as well. That makes a lot of plateaus in a lot of people's programs. So make sure we're gaining slow, consistent gains. Be on top of that. Be very mental with that, because again, that sometimes is people's big e-brake as far as their gains go. And number 4, making sure that we are actually recovering, using all the recovery tools. Are we sleeping enough? Are we getting enough hydration? Are we practicing, which is super popular these days, on our soft tissue recovery? We're foam rolling, we're breaking up that sore tissue, we're making sure that these muscles are keeping in good texture, so therefore we can get maximal blood supply and blood flow into those muscle groups, and making sure that we can create all those great signals coming back and forth, and nutrients being able to be delivered into that muscle, etc. So making sure that we're doing everything necessary to recover. We're sleeping, we're eating, we're using our soft tissue antics, we're getting enough hydration for ourselves, because these are some big topics that are often overlooked, because all of us just want to train, and we always have to look on the backside of things to make sure that we're recovering and we're actually able to allow our bodies to recover and rebuild, so therefore we can repeat the process again. So for a lot of people out there, they're hard gainers, they're trying to take it in the natural route, etc. There's a lot of information coming out there to us that are coming from these individuals that are using some sort of performance enhancing matter, I guess you could say, that allows them to train at these crazy levels. But for a lot of us, it's not applicable to what we got going on for ourselves and our goals, etc. So those are some tips that will help you keep on pushing yourself along the way. So hopefully you had some good info on that, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time, those are my tips.